Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, I posted a brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was Told about the Uzumaki clan from the beginning. So go ahead and check out that guys and enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, things had been turned upside down in the village, as bad things were happening everywhere. Out of the village though, Temari and Conqueror were shocked when they saw their little sister Gaara. She was sleeping. They did not understand because usually, whenever she sleeps, she released the beast, so something was definitely wrong. But at the same time, something wasn't wrong as she was sleeping peacefully. They picked her up off the roof where she was, as she usually just came out here and gazed at the moon, and they brought her inside, where she was fast asleep. Inside the seal, Shikaku was chained down. Black thick chains were wrapped around Shikaku tight, as Shikaku had took on the appearance just like Kurama, as the Bijous didn't have any female or male genders to begin with. So, and the past years they decided to take on some, as the 19th Fox realized that being in this human form, it got her whatever she needed, so that is how she stayed. And Shikaku did the same thing, to lure people to their death, as Shikaku, out of all the other tail beasts, despised human the most, as she enjoyed making them think that something was gonna happen and then slaughtering them. But Shikaku was currently subdued at the moment. The black chains that seemed like death itself, as black smoke was seeping from them, was holding her down, suppressing her. Ever since Naruto kissed Gaara, something happened, yes. As Naruto was thinking a step ahead, already planning his next move. At Konoha, Naruto was in the forest, where a brutal battle went off, as he took on the Inuzaka members that came to kill him. Well, not really kill him, they just want to maim him, tore off his arms or legs, just to make sure he will never be a shinobi again. As the battle started out, they started to get more hectic as they launched jutsus after jutsus. The Getsu got tearing through the air as Naruto decided to change, to give them a taste of his power, and he was like a wild beast, dashing through the darkness. They could not even see him as he ripped and tore. Tatsumi came out there in a rush, along with Hokage and along with a lot of other envoys. As Tatsumi rushed towards her daughter, Aid. As Hana had a gash in her side, she hugged her daughter. She was just happy that she was okay despite Tatsumi being the one that started up this to the other members of the clan. But she was just glad her daughter was okay, given the fact that she already lost Kiba and she didn't want to lose her daughter either. As Naruto was knocked out in a week passed, he was attacked and yet he was placed inside of a holding cell for the past week, as he spoke how he liked to Minato and the others. Minato was getting really angry at this, as things have changed in the village, and people are looking at Naruto with more and more suspicion. He was allowed to go home as he was still going to participate in Chunin exams. After all, he did nothing wrong, he was attacked. He merely defended himself. In defending himself, he slaughtered so many Inuzaka members. As Naruto went home and Kushina spoke to him, she didn't want him to attack and kill Minma, as she saw that Naruto was vastly more powerful than he lets on. As Naruto started to raise his temper, she slapped him across the face. He took so much willpower to not do anything, as she thought he was going to think it over after she begged him. Meanwhile, Minma was training. No one knew, but Minma was planning on killing Naruto. This all started with him, and he was gonna end it once and for all. Once he got rid of Naruto, this all would be over, and that is what Minma was planning. As he was also worried about Hinata, but Tento assured him that Naruto would not hurt Hinata. Her being the heir towards the Hyuga clan, of course she would not get fatally wounded. As Minma knew that when him and Naruto fought, because it doesn't matter what happened, he was going to go to the finals. Naruto was going to try to kill him, and he was going to be the first one to kill him. So yeah guys, it was basically last we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself so to begin this new episode. Naruto was standing there, his eyes closed, as he seemed to be intensely focused on something. Despite his eyes being closed, his entire aura was calm. Strange, given the fact that his aura was usually deadly, filled with nothing but grief and death and destruction. As Naruto opened his eyes, there was this strange pulse. This pulse of darkness that left his body in a small wave. It shattered 3 tall trees in front of him as they were destroyed. As Naruto smirked to himself, he glanced toward his fingers and his hand. Black veins were coursing through his body. As they were getting stronger and stronger, he could feel it, the darkness rising inside of him. Well done, Naruto-kun, said Jashin. Seems you will get this done by the time that you're ready for the Chunin exams. As Naruto nodded, the Chunin exams was only a week away. 3 weeks had passed. In the past couple of weeks, Naruto had saw that there was definitely change around the village. People used to look at him with scorn and hate, but now it was nothing but absolute fear. Some of them look at him with utter rage, the ones that lost their family to the murderer that has been going around slaughtering people. But the others looked towards him with fear, as the rumors had been spread that he was the one killing people despite there being no actual proof. The people were getting, well, angry and also fear when they couldn't comprehend or understand something that brought out misjudgment and not thinking well. So people want to know what the hell was going on, and that put a lot of strain on Minato, because up to this point he has yet to find who was killing people. Minato cursed at himself day after day, and that was causing problem, because he brought that curse home. As the little things kind of ticked him off. Recently, he accidentally lashed out at Minma, because Minma was annoying him a bit. Usually he simply shrugged things off and just smiled toward his son, but it wasn't anything too much, but he actually lashed out. Kushina was surprised by that. She knew that he was under a lot of stress, but do not come home and take it out on his son. He had apologized to Minma. Minma, being the boy that loved to please his father and make him happy, had quickly forgave him. As Minato was just under a lot of stress, the entire village was feeling the aura of dread and weakness, because they weren't able to stop this killer that was going around slaughtering everyone, and yet he had a whole village envoys towards his disposal. Donzo Shimura, even one of the elders, one of the people that fought with the third back in his old days, was even killed. They could not find the body, but they assumed that he was dead. So, given the fact that one of the elders had been taken out, that means no one was safe. What about the shinobi families? What about clan heads? What about the heir towards the clans, Hinata and the others? Their movement had been rather restricted lately, because things have been just getting worse and worse. As Minato was having a hard time dealing with it. With their movements restricted and with the envoys on constant patrol, it gave Naruto more time to, well, be out in the open, to have his freedom, as his movements weren't being watched lately. Given the fact that things had not escalated after what happened with the Inazakas, they were sure everything was fine, and the envoys had no time to spare, as they had to keep on the constant search, the constant lookout to find the killer that was going around, slaughtering everyone. As Naruto glanced up, he saw a blur as the envoy shot forward as he went off into the forest. It brought a smirk to his face, as it was rather amusing watching them go around, trying to find the killer, when he was standing right here. It seems like you have a little visitor, Naruto-kun, said the Kyuubi. As Naruto did not turn, he just stood there. As he waited, there was 2 of them. He didn't say an actual word, as he simply stood there. He did not move. He didn't even look at them. The girl was the first one to speak. It was 2 girls, in fact. It was none other than Mito and Namikaze. As she stepped closer, "What are you planning on doing?" she said. He ignored her question. The one beside her was none other than Hinata Hyuga. It was surprising given the recent, fear in the village that she was able to roam around like this. Perhaps they were being watched at the moment, but yet Naruto couldn't feel anything else. The security was really lacking, he thought to himself, as he glanced around, not really paying them attention. I know what you're thinking, but not yet, said Jashin, as she could feel it. Naruto was planning on killing these two, given that he wasn't being watched. Well, not mainly Hinata but his sister. It's just not the right time. When will it be, Naruto asks. You've always put your trust in me, Naruto-kun. Just listen to me, said Jashin. Am I not right, Kyuubi? Yes, she's right. Don't do anything out of the way yet, Kyuubi said. As, despite everything, Naruto has noticed that Kyuubi had become rather susceptible to what Jashin said. It wasn't that he was jealous or anything about it, it was just that she was acting all different ever since her hair changed into black, but he thought that it wasn't a problem. Okay, he said, as he's always trust them, and they did turn him into the man that he is today, powerful and strong. Mito spoke again. I'm talking to you, she said. As Naruto finally turned and faced her, Hinata's eyes were cold. As her eyes looked distant, like she couldn't hear one bit that he was standing there. A part of her was pissed off. That he killed Kiba, but there was a small part of her that was angry as she heard what he did with that San Kunoichi. She had tried her best to not really care what he did or what he was all about. She chose to just ignore him. But she saw Mito coming here and she decided to follow her, just in case anything bad happened, which Mito assured her that nothing would. But she still tagged along with her. What do you want? Said Naruto. I know you're strong, said Mito. People might not see it and think that you're weak, but you're strong. And you're hiding your true strength. Is that what you came here to say? Said Naruto. No. Menma is strong as well, and he won't stop until he enters the finals. I guess that makes you the weak one, said Naruto, because you dropped out. She didn't say anything, as she spoke after a few seconds though. I don't want you to hurt Menma. As Naruto turned and fully faced her, he stepped forward as Hinata flexed her fingers a bit, as Naruto came rather close. You don't want me to what? You heard me. I don't want you to hurt Menma. I know you can. And I don't want you to hurt him. Menma can protect himself, said Hinata. Don't sell him short. It seems his girlfriend has more faith in him than his own sister. How pitiful, said Naruto. Perhaps if you admit it. Say it right now that Menma is a weak, pathetic piece of crap. And that you want me to spare him. I will think it over. Don't talk about him like that, said Mito, as Hinata narrowed her eyes. Watch your mouth. That simply made Naruto laugh. You two are really funny. Coming out here talking to me like this, and I should be the one watching my mouth. So if that's all, would you mind leaving this place? Your faces are already annoying me. I'm not done, said Mito as she stepped forward. I'm warning you. Do not hurt my brother. Why? I thought he can defend himself, said Naruto as he looked towards Hinata. Hinata said nothing on the subject, as her eyes just got harder. Don't look at me like that. Like you want to kill me. You killed Kiba, said Hinata. You don't think I want to? Well, it's not that you can, said Naruto, as her fists clenched. Is this a joke to you? You killed a Konoha ninja, someone who was supposed to be your ally, and yet you laugh. Yes, it's all a joke to me, including you, said Naruto. So if you don't mind, can you please leave, before I get angry? No. As Naruto turned towards her. You know your daddy's not out here, right? Neither is your mommy. So they can't really protect you. After all, why did you come to antagonize a demon? You know that when someone is cornered, they lashed out. And when I feel threatened for my well-being, I might lash out as well. I might even take it over the edge. If you touch her, said Hinata, she stepped forward, as Mito narrowed her eyes, as her body started to shake slightly, the chains inside of her begging to be released. As Naruto simply laughed it off. I'm annoyed already, as he started to walk away. I'm not done, said Mito as chains came from her palm and rushed forward as they grabbed onto Naruto tight. You're gonna stand here and listen to me, because despite everything we're family, and I do not want you to hurt Minma. As Naruto looked down, he blinked and looked back up. Hinata narrowed her eyes as she noticed the black veins in Naruto's hands pulsing. Mito, release him. What? Just do it. As Mito called back her chain, confused at the strange request from Hinata. As Naruto took several deep breaths, before he dropped down towards his knees, as he placed his head towards the ground. Mito thought that he was bowing at first, but he was not. He seemed to be in pain, as Naruto was fighting the urge not to rip her throat out right here and now. How dare she lay her hand on him like this, telling him not to hurt goddamn Minma. He slammed his head into the ground, so hard in fact that it burst, as blood started to gush from his forehead. A sick, psychotic laughter came from his throat that scared the hell out of Mito, as he took several deep more breaths. Before he stood up, got into his feet, he turned his back. You both should leave, he said, as he walked forward into the deep forest. What the hell was that, said Mito. I don't know, said Hinata. Let's get out of here. Do you really think Minma can handle himself? Asked Mito. Minma is strong. Don't count him out. I know he's strong, but you've seen the things Naruto can do, and what he did to Kiba. If he hurts Minma, what are we gonna... He won't. The Hokage wouldn't allow him to do something like that. He will stop the match. Someone will intervene in time. But what about you? Aren't you worried? You're the first one that's gonna fight him. He won't kill me. Why? He killed Kiba. He won't be able to kill me. I'm the heiress of the Hyuga clan. That won't be happening, she said. Even if you were in the exam, your father or your mother, the shinobis wouldn't allow you to die. So don't worry about it. Minma's gonna be fine. And besides, I'm gonna hurt him for what he did to Kiba. Mito looked towards her. Just be careful, okay? As Hinata simply nodded as she made her way deep in the forest. The entire place had been obliterated. Trees. There was large animals, bears. As Naruto had made his way into the forest of death, all kind of snakes, reptiles. Naruto had literally torn them to pieces. Blood was all over his body, as he had tear into their entrails and ripped them apart. Are you calm now? Said Jashin, as Naruto took several more deep breaths. Yes, he said. I told you before, you will get your revenge, but not now. You will get it when the time is the sweetest, for them to feel more agonizing pain than they ever felt before. But now, it's not ready. It's not time. I'll listen to you, said Naruto, as I always done. You've never put me down the wrong path before. Yes, and I will never, she said to him. Seems like you have a visitor. Once again, Naruto saw a snake emerge. As the snake placed down a scroll for him to summon, there was a poof. As the same guy appeared, it was none other than Kabuto. Meanwhile, in Naruto's mindscape, Jashin sat there. What's wrong? Asked Kyubey, as she was leaning on her shoulder. Oh, nothing, I'm fine. You know that I can literally read you now, right? What? Said Jashin. I know that you're lying, you're not fine. What's happening? It has something to do with Naruto-kun that you're not telling me. What's going on? It's nothing for you to worry about, said Jashin as she placed a hand on the Kyuubi's cheek. Just relax, okay? And just like that, the Kyuubi actually relaxed. Her mind thought about it for a second, but she actually did. As Jashin smiled at that, ever since her hair changed black, something has changed. Something that Jashin wasn't telling either of them. But at the moment, Jashin felt conflicted. After all, in all of this, she was just using all of them. Perhaps she could bring the Kyuubi with her, because just like her, she was an immortal being that she could use forever. But Naruto, Jashin wanted something that not even her brother could ever achieve. And that something had to do with Naruto. But in order to get it, she had to betray him in the worst way possible. Something that would hurt him. Something that will literally tear apart his soul. To make him think that he had no one left. Nothing. It would hurt him, but it has to be done. Because if she did not do it, she won't get what she wants. But why was this damn part of her telling her that she should not? She was a being that can't even comprehend age. So why did she feel actually sorry for this kid that she recently met? The past couple of years meant nothing to her because it was just a couple of years. Because her age was something that passed anything any human can ever experience or even comprehend. So why did these past couple of years feel so different than anything she ever felt before? But she had to do it. Because once she got what she wanted from Naruto, she would be able. She smiled to herself. Her ultimate goal, to get what she wanted. Something that her brother would be envious of. And perhaps even then, she could make him suffer. Because once she got what she wanted, she would no longer be restricted to stay in the spiritual world. Yes, she could enter the human world. That was her only drawback, that she could not enter the human world as she was. The only reason why she was here was because she was bound to Naruto by the seal. The trap that the Shinigami set on her. If Naruto was to release her right here, she would go back to the spiritual world. And the only way for Naruto to see her again would be to summon her somehow. So that is why she refused to leave back then, as she was going to use Naruto for her plan. But yet this part of her was telling her not to. But when she did it, she was going to have to betray him. He was just a human. Why should she care, she thought to herself. And yet, this part of her was telling her not to do it. As she cursed that part, she never actually felt anything like this before. It was weird and strange. Meanwhile, you again, said Naruto. So what is it this time? Well, my lord has sent me to make sure that everything is still alright with the plan on your end. Naruto waved his hand as the ground break open. As one of Danzo's root agent came out. Truly magnificent, said Kabuto. And they feel no pain, he asks. Well, why don't you try, said Naruto. Kabuto brought the kuna as he threw it. It embedded right into the Anvu's chest, where his heart was supposed to be, yet the thing did not stutter. It's a shame that your bodies cannot be put back together. If that was the case, you would have an unstoppable army, Kabuto said, as he narrowed his eyes. Yes, a shame, said Naruto. But they are needed, and their purpose will be fulfilled. Yes, they are. As Kabuto smiled at that, you are to use them to cause as much ruckus as possible, to fend off most of the Konoha Jonins and Chunins. To allow my lord and his members do much more damage than we possibly entail. But my father would be a problem, said Naruto, wouldn't he? Yes, that he will. But my lord has something planned for him. As long as everything keeps to the plan, you can be assured that it will be a success. But I must ask, Naruto-kun, he said. After this, what will you do? Where will you go? I don't know, said Naruto. Well, that's a shame. Perhaps you could join us. I mean, to have you as an ally is better than to have you as an enemy. I suppose, said Naruto. But we'll see when the time comes. Yes, indeed we will see, said Kabuto. Time skip. As Kushina was currently in her garden, she was notified by one of the maids that someone had came. The Chunin exam was 2 days away, as she wondered who it was, because the maid said that it was a ninja from another village. The Sand, to be exact. It kind of surprised her that the Sand ninja would come here. Her mind then went towards someone, but no, it wouldn't be. As Kushina made her way out there, where she saw the girl, she had red hair just like hers, with a conjure for love on her forehead. As the girl seemed to be different. The last time she saw her, she had these black rings around her eyes that looked like she was exhausted, but now she looked well rested and calm. Her face was blank and didn't show off any emotion though. As Kushina made her way towards the girl, confused and surprised why she was here, well, her son did kiss her in the exam. Kushina was still unable to understand what happened here, as she didn't think that Naruto actually know any of them to that level. Yes, that was rather surprising. Yes, may I help you, said Kushina. I'm here to see your son. Well, given the exam, I wouldn't ask if it was Menma. Yes, the other one, said Gaara. As Kushina looked towards her, as she seemed to study the girl for a bit, And exactly why are you here to see him? I just wish to talk to him, said Gaara. Well, she was at least polite. Alright then, said Kushina. Come with me. The San and Kano had a relationship, so it would be quite well, to tell this girl to leave here immediately. Not to mention she won't know what was going on between her and her son. So with that she brought Gaara with her. As Kushina felt ashamed, she paused. Stay right here for a moment, okay? As she left Gaara in the hall for a second. Gaara stood there as she waited. As she heard footsteps as she turned. You, said Hinata. What are you doing here? Gaara looked towards her before she turned her head, ignoring her. Hey, I'm talking to you. She had just came in to grab a bottle of water after training with Menma who was outside waiting on her, but yet she find this girl here. As Hinata stepped forward, I would advise you not to get so near to me. I don't like you, said Gaara. To hell if you like me or not. What are you doing here? As Gaara simply ignored her. As Hinata clenched her fist, was she here to see Naruto? When did the both of them become so buddy-buddy? Meanwhile, as Naruto opened his eyes as his mother entered. What is it? He said. Your friend is here to see you, the one from the sand. As Naruto picked himself up, as he walked out of his little cell. Naruto-kun, she said. What is your relationship with that girl? I thought that it didn't take so long for you to pass through the exam. So I'm surprised that the both of you has this relationship for her to come and even visit you. And if we were in a relationship, would you approve it like how you approve Menma and Hinata relationship, Naruto asks. Well, I will have to get to talk to her and know her better. But I don't see any problem in that. Are the both of you really in a relationship? Kushina was surprised. A part of her happy that her son was telling her this. Actually no, said Naruto. So, why did you kiss her? Because I felt like it, said Naruto. Now Naruto, you know that you can't just go around kissing people, right? And who says I can't? Everything. You can't do something like that. News to me, said Naruto. Wait, you've done this before? Countless of times, said Naruto. With who? If I tell you the answer, you wouldn't like it. What do you mean by that? The answer will hurt you more than anything else. Naruto-kun, what are you talking about, said Kushina. As Naruto blinked as he looked at her. I'm afraid I can't tell you, he said. Perhaps not yet. Did you do something bad? The way you're speaking, it's making me think something that I never want to think of you. So please tell me that this is nothing out of the way. That you did something to some poor girl. Naruto lowered his head. If Menma had said something like that, would you assume that he did something to some poor girl, Naruto asks? No, let me speak, said Naruto. The first thing you do is assume I've done something wrong. Well, I can see that in your eyes. I'll still always be a monster, he says as he walked past her. No, but he was already gone through the door. As Naruto smiled as he passed her. It was like taking candy away from a baby. Rather easy to stir up their emotions, especially this woman that called herself his mother. As Naruto stepped outside, he saw Hinata standing there along with Gaara. Ah, I see you're here, said Naruto. As he held out his hand, Gaara looked towards it before she reached out and took it. Let's go, shall we? As he walked along with her, Hinata stood there as he completely ignored her presence, as it made her clench her fist in rage. She went outside as Menma saw the look on her face. Hinata, are you okay? She ignored him. Hinata, are you okay? She ignored him. Hinata, I'm fine, she shouted. Menma stepped back, surprised by that. I'm sorry, she said. I'm really sorry. I'm just having a hard time. He stepped closer and hugged her. What is it? You know you can tell me anything. Always be here for you. She hugged him back. I know that, she said. And thank you. I am really sorry. Meanwhile, what was she doing at your house? Said Gaara. You sound jealous, said Naruto. Jealous? Gaara said. Like she was unable to comprehend that word. Or she just didn't know it. I'm just curious. She's my brother's girlfriend. Gaara said nothing more than that. I take it that you're here because things are changing with you. Yes. What did you do to me? Ever since that, she reached up and touched her lip. That kiss. I've been different. I no longer hear my mother, but instead I feel you. Me? Said Naruto. Yes. It's your presence. It's all around me. I know I can sleep. It's because I fixed you, said Naruto. How? And why? Why would you help me, she asks. What do you want from me? Absolutely nothing, said Naruto. Well, I want you to follow me. What do you mean follow you? You and I have been wronged in this world. From a moment of contact I could see it in your eyes. The pain and suffering that you went through. Just like every other Jinchuriki. Gaara's eyes widen. You're a Jinchuriki? Oh, I forgot I never told you, said Naruto. Yes, I hold the 9 tails inside of me, and something else, said Naruto. As he smiled at her. That is why I want you to follow me, instead of your village. I can see it in your eyes. That village only bring you pain and suffering. And what will you bring me, she asks. Liberation, said Naruto. Freedom of the open world. A little secret between me and you, said Naruto as he got really close. As he went towards her ear. I'll be leaving Konoha soon, and I want you to come with me. You have nothing that is holding you there at that village. I can see that you barely care for anyone, especially your siblings. Something I really like about you. Seeing that I am planning on killing my siblings soon enough. You really hate them that much, said Gaara. Yes, said Naruto, and they deserve much, much worse. Everyone treats me like a monster. Why won't you do the same? Because I enjoy you the way you are. Be a monster. Kill as much as you can. I enjoy every second of it. Killing brings me happiness. And in the forest of death, I can tell that it brings you happiness as well. When the both of us slaughter all those people. So, will you follow me? Will you devote your life to me? For me to bring you liberation. To free you from this accursed place. In doing so, I want you to fight for me. I want you to bleed for me. Kill for me. And I will save you. I will give you everything you please. And you can be the best monster you can be. Because other than other people, I love when you're a monster. It's really hot, said Naruto. Gaara looked at him amazed. He was accepting her as she was. Not even her siblings did that. So she was quite surprised and shocked by that. As Naruto stepped forward. So tell me, what's your answer? Naruto asks. She could no longer hear her mother, who was always telling her to do the right thing, and that usually involved killing people. But now Naruto was here. She could feel him every time, even back home. Despite him not being there, something that was strange. And he also made her sleep. And he was also in her dreams. Her cheeks turned a bit red. Something that was foreign to her because in her dreams, all they did was kiss over and over. Something that she enjoyed quite a lot. And it's not like she had anyone back home. Her father just treated her like a weapon, a monster that is to be used. Something that she was, as she came to accept that years ago, after she slaughtered her uncle, who tried to kill her. And her brother and sister was too afraid to do anything about it. Yes, I'll follow you, she said. As she looked at him, the corner of his lips turned up into a smirk. A rather devilish smirk. Well, we have to seal the deal, said Naruto. Like the last time she asked. Why, of course, he said. She took the initiative as she got closer. As a part of her wanted this. As the both of their lips locked. But instead of just a peck, Naruto pulled her in close. As she felt his arms wrapped around her waist tight. As he continued to kiss her. Unknown to even her, black smoke, small, trails of it was seeping into her mouth, going into her very core, changing her chakra system, changing her very body as we speak. As it was even affecting Shikaku inside, to restrain the beast, to even completely wipe away the beast's functionality, and just leave behind pure raw chakra. Something that not even the Kyuubi was worried about, because Jashin told her it was fine. Seems that the Kyuubi has really changed. Despite everything, the Ichibai was still made from the same place as her. And that was 10 tails, and yet she did not care about the well-being of Ichibai because Jashin told her it was alright. As the both of them broke the kiss, Gaara was panting, her cheeks red, right to the touch as she looked at him, as she had that twinkle in her eye that made Naruto smile even more. Time skip. The place was swarm. It was ransacked, it was packed with people. Everyone from everywhere came to watch the Chunin exams. As the place was cheering and booming, bets were being placed. The last Uchiha, the extremely last Uchiha, there was no one left. From everyone regard, there was no one. The last Uchiha was gonna be fighting today, along with the prodigy of the Hyuga clan, and the heirs to the Hyuga clan as well. As many people heard that the monster of Konoha was also going to be in the exams. And the daughter of the Kazekage, not one but two, was going to take place as well. This should be really entertaining as everyone was psyched to watch the matches. Up in the Kage's booth, Minato was there, along with his wife, as Kushina was beside him. The ninjas that guard Minato was there as well, behind her. Over to the man left. Ah, Kazekage Dano. As the Kazekage greeted Minato back. It's a pleasure, Hokage Dano, he said as he sat down. I see that everything has been set up perfectly for entertainment of these upcoming matches. To see the new, hopeful Chunins, it is something quite gracious to always see, isn't it? I agree with you on that point, said Minato, as he slightly narrowed his eyes at the man. He's spoken to this man before, but never ever has he saw the Kazekage wear a veil to hide his appearance. That seemed rather strange. Yes, really strange. But who was him to question the Kage? As Minato said nothing about that. The talks on Orochimaru has come up to nothing at all. Minato was better able to seal that seal away on Sasuke's neck. He would have to go deep into his reading materials to completely remove it. But for now, the seal was not affecting Sasuke. And other than that, there's been nothing. Orochimaru did not relay any information to anyone, so they knew nothing where Orochimaru was or why he did this. But Minato was certain that it was because of Sasuke's eyes. Why else go after the last Uchiha? The last Uchiha with the last Sharingan, well, except for that man he met that night. As he was still unsure about that man, the masked one, with that lone Sharingan that was able to control the fox. But that was not the time to think about this. He had no idea where Orochimaru was or what he was up to, and that left quietly dampening his mood, as he wanted to finish Orochimaru once and for all and get rid of Konoha, greatest traitor in the history of traitors. The Kazekage smiled under his veil. Minato had no idea what was going to come for him or what was going to happen, as Orochimaru had a gleeful look on his face. Yes, really gleeful, as everyone was on the edge of their seat, waiting for the Hokage to begin everything. So Minato got up to his feet. As he spoke, his voice echoing around the entire place to all the daimyos, to all the wealthy businessmen that were here. As he started to give his speech up in the box, Hinata and the others were there. Menma was laid back as he looked around, as they were ushered down by the Chunin that was there. It was then that they saw Sasuke walk into the fray. You're finally here, huh? Said Menma as he looked towards Sasuke. Took you a while as he looked over Sasuke. Seems you've gotten stronger. You have no idea, Sasuke said, with his arrogant smirk as usual. He spent the last month pushing himself to dangerous degrees. Kakashi had taught him a lot, and with that he was gonna win this exam. Even more confident, said Menma. Think you can beat me? As Sasuke simply smirked. Well, that's a lot of arrogant boosts, said Menma with a smirk on his face. After all, he has not been lying down the past month. He has been training. You know, if the two of you want to kiss each other, you can go ahead and do so. No one will judge you, said Naruto. The both of them snapped their head towards him. What? Said Menma. Well, seeing that you're too stupid to get it, I'm implying that you and the Uchiha is gay, and you have the hot for each other. Sasuke glared at Naruto. What? Gonna do something about it. Just hold on to that anger that you have. You too, Menma. And wait until the exam begin. There you can throw out as much hate and rage that you have. I'm gonna be able to take it all, don't worry. Shikamaru sighed. This was just so troublesome. As he looked towards Naruto, he then looked towards Temaru, who was simply standing there. As the group started to walk to make their way towards the arena. If he beat Temari, he didn't even want to beat her because he didn't want to take part in the exam after her. Because he wouldn't want to go up against Naruto. As the guy had literally ripped Kiba's heart out of his chest without even battering an eye. Could his shadow even move that fast to restrain him? Don't listen to him. You both will do fine, said Hinata. He's just trying to psych you both out. He's just a waste of time, she said. As Naruto simply smirked at that. As Gaara walked over to him, they're not worth your time. And who asked you, said Hinata, as she looked towards her with anger. As Minma was surprised at the lashing out from her. Calm down, Hinata, said Minma, it's alright. Don't let them get to you. As Minma looked at the girl strangely. I don't know what the hell you're doing with him, he says. He looked towards Gaara. But for your own safety, get away from him. He kills his own comrade and doesn't even bat her eye. And do you think I care? Asked Gaara. I suggest you don't speak to me and watch your mouth. Huh. He snarled. I guess psychopaths are fit for each other. Bam! As everyone turned their eyes. As they saw Naruto's fist embedded in the wall. As his fist had made a print in it. Huh, stupid fly, said Naruto as he moved his fist. As a fly fell down dead. As Naruto simply smirked, his eyes crinkled up into a smirk as they stepped out into the light. As there was a lot of cheers from the people up ahead. As they made their way in front of the proctor, Hayate coughed into his hand. As Naruto looked at the man, perhaps he should do this man a favor and kill him when the invasion starts. Because he already looked like he was about to drop dead any moment. Alright everyone, said Minato from where he was. The hopeful Chunin has arrived. Let us get this show started, shall we? As everyone clapped at the Hokage's speech. Alright, Hayate says, he coughed. These rules are the same as the preliminaries. Remember, I can intervene when I see fit. And once I call it, you must stop, or you'll be risk disqualified from the match. Now, to go on with what we saw at the preliminaries, the first match will be Shikamaru Nara versus Temari of the Sand. Will the rest of you please make your way up to the arena floor? With that, everyone made their way up. Shikamaru was also walking away. As Hayate blinked before he coughed. Nara, it's your match. Shikamaru sighed, cursed in his mind that he was caught. Alright, fine, he said. What? Scared to fight me? Asked Temari. Nah, not really, said Shikamaru. As he glanced as he watched Naruto walk away. As Temari watched him as well, she saw the way Shikamaru was looking. He would probably tear you apart, she said. As he blinked and turned his head towards her. Just try to stay out of his way. Perhaps give up if you get a chance to find him. What do you know, said Shikamaru. My sister wouldn't hesitate to rip you apart. And that guy seems a lot worse than my sister. Well, enough talking, let's get this show on the road, shall we? As with that, everyone made their way. They arrived up towards the box. As Minma, on the way, held on to Hinata's hand. As he smirked, he had the best girlfriend here. That strange sand girl didn't even compare to Hinata at all. She was just weird. So he did not care. As Hinata watched Naruto as his eyes went towards her hand, he looked back at her quite angry. What the hell gave him the right to be angry, she wondered to herself. He was now with that sand girl. Why did she even care, she thought, as she tried to shrug it off, but his gaze just stayed on her. As they made their way up, Gaara turned her head. Not gonna watch. If she lose, she's nothing but a disappointment, said Gaara. Isn't that your sister? Said Hinata. As Gaara ignored her. As Hinata clenched her fist, this girl keep on ignoring her. Well then, said Naruto as he sat down. On purpose, he pulled Gaara down into his lap. A small blush came in her cheek, but she said nothing as she simply sat there. As Minma felt Hinata had tense a bit, confusing him as he looked towards her. Oh, she was just probably angry at Naruto trying to show off or something, as he wondered if he should do something. Nah, she didn't look like she was in a mood to. He just shook that off as he focused back on the fight. The fight started as it didn't take too long. On the contrary, Shikamaru did win. But he was almost out of chakra and it was not like he wanted to fight Naruto or anyone else. So he just gave up, giving Temari the win. Naru's always the same as usual, like Kazekage said. Although he has the brain, he's just quite lazy. Seems you know a lot about the Naru clan, said Minato. From what I've heard here and there, said the Kazekage. As Minato said nothing more, Kushina narrowed her eyes. Something was wrong about the Kazekage's chakra. It was all flaky, like he was trying to hide something, like he was doing it on purpose, something that confused her. As she wondered why the man seemed flaky. Was something wrong, she thought to herself. Winner, Temari of the Sun. As people in the arena clapped, but it wasn't so much. Good luck, said Shikamaru as he walked off. The next match, Dosu of the Sound versus Conqueror of the Sun. As Hayate got a message. It seems that Dosu of the Sound is not here. He hasn't been seen for the entire tournament. He looked towards Hokage, who nodded. So we will call his absent as a disqualified terms. And Conqueror of the Sand will be given the victory. As Conqueror smiled to himself, he wasn't actually gonna fight. He had to conserve his energy for the invasion. The next match was Shino versus Neji. Both of them made their way down there. Alright? Once Hayate saw that everything was okay, begin! As everyone is on the edge of their seat, ready to see the prodigy Hyuga. As the battle started out quite normal at first. As Neji chose all opportunity to get close, but Shino was backing away. But Neji with his eyes were able to spin around Shino's defenses. Shino was powerful when it comes to using his bug in a wide range. But the moment Neji got close, it was over. Shino was defeated swiftly with a 64 palms. Even though Neji had his chakra drain a bit, he was still able to overcome Shino and knock him the hell out. A strike to the sternum launched him back as he crashed against the wall, as he was unconscious, giving Neji the win. As people cheered, as a lot of them had bet on Neji, they had no doubt that the Project Hyuga would win. Minma gulped when he saw that it was now the fourth match. He squeezed in at the hand a bit tighter. She pat the back of his hand. It's gonna be okay, she said. Do your best. And if I can do this, she said. As Naruto simply laughed where he was as he picked up himself, Gaara getting up as well. Gaara simply gave him a smile as she came close to his ear. Show or hell, she whispered in his ear. As Naruto felt a tingle, as he pulled back with a smile. I love how wicked you are, he said. Have I told you that recently? Yes, a lot. But you can keep on saying it, she said to him. As Naruto started to walk, his hand was grabbed by Minma. As Naruto looked down towards his hand, as he felt the progress, as he turned and stopped Gaara from doing anything. It's quite alright, he said. As Sasuke got up, as she narrowed her eyes dangerously towards the two. You know, you're not the first one to do something like this. But I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to remove your hand. If you do anything out of the way, you won't like what I'm gonna do to you. I can promise you that. Do you understand me? 4. Are you listening? 3. Are you 2? Sasuke grabbed Minma's hand as he made Minma release him. What are you doing, Sasuke? Not here. You will get your chance in the arena, but not here. Don't do anything stupid that could get you disqualified. Minma snarled before he calmed himself. Sasuke was right. Seems your boy toy managed to save you once again, said Naruto. But there will come a day when he won't be here to save you. And on that day, I want you to touch me, Minma, so I can beat the living crap out of you. Minma snarled as Naruto simply walked off. He had saw the flash in Minma's eyes, the slight red. Naruto-kun, said Kyubey. Oh, don't worry, said Naruto. You will get all of it back. As Naruto made his way, the tunnel was rather dark until you enter through the exit. No one was in there as Naruto walked. He walked behind her. She kept on a brisk pace before he grabbed her hand as he pushed her up against the wall. As he pinned her there, she brought her leg up and tried to kick him right there, but he placed a foot forward, stopping her. Let me go, she said, as Naruto's eyes roamed over her. You know, I kinda missed you, said Naruto. Miss me? You bastard! As she tried to swiggle out of his grip, but she could not, as he held her in place. How is he so damn strong? As Naruto leaned forward, as he kissed her, she bit him on his lip, but he simply did not hear. As she relented after a moment or two, cursing herself what the hell was going on. This guy killed Kiba, and he's showing off that girl in front of her. Why? She tried to... But why? She was confused. As Naruto released her, she was panting a bit. I have to say, that was wonderful. Aren't you afraid I'm gonna tell your girlfriend, she said. My girlfriend? That sand girl. Said Naruto. You know, when you act all tough, I must say it's kind of cute. I guess you're still angry at me for what I did. You mean kill my teammate? As she lashed out with a hand that Naruto sidestepped. Don't you ever put your lips on me again. Oh? He said behind her, as she was surprised. And how are you gonna stop me? She activated her Byakugan. I'm gonna kill you, she said. As Naruto wrapped his arms around her so tight that she could not move. As he whispered towards her ear, she felt her cheeks becoming red and hot, as his breath breathed in the back of her ear. I'm gonna have to hurt you a bit. It's nothing personal. It's just to piss Minma off. Although sometimes I wonder if you like pain. After all, you let me get away with this. Not that I'm complaining, he said, as one of his arms went down towards her side. As he started to crawl down, as Hinata felt her cheeks getting hotter and hotter, until he released her. As a Chunin came inside to wonder what was taking him so long. What is going on here, Chunin asked. Oh, nothing, said Naruto. We were just having a conversation. Well, you better get out, your man said. As Naruto walked forward, Hinata fixed herself as she made her way. The Chunin narrowed his eyes, but he returned back to his duty. The moment they stepped outside, Hayashi narrowed his eyes towards his daughter. He was a second away from activating his Byakugan as he wondered what took her so long. But everything seemed to be fine. But from what he knew, his daughter didn't have any kind of relationship or even talk to that boy. As Minma narrowed his eyes, he wondered what took them so long down there. Did he do something to her? But Hinata seemed fine. Well, seems like your son's gonna now participate in the exam. You must be a proud father. I heard that he's quite strong to the Kazekage. Minato said nothing as Orochimaru chuckled to himself. As Kushina narrowed her eyes, there it was again. What was going on with the Kazekage's chakra? She thought to herself. The moment Hinata arrived, she activated her Byakugan. She was still quite pissed. As she glared at him, whoa, you look angry. For what you did. And for what you did to Kiba, I'm gonna hurt you. As Naruto looked up towards the stand, Minma was glaring down at him. As Naruto's smile was radiating bloodlust. I already apologized. But I guess I'll just have to make it a wonderful show. As Gaara smiled as she felt it. The time was near. It was gonna begin anytime now. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on bell notifications. Stay posted, but I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.